Hello everyone, this is marcoasd, RBY overused player for a long while, Pokemon competitive battling on Smogon. Today I'm going to go through the memories of this 12-year journey. I did not play tournaments every year, so well, it's a 12-year-old journey. Let's clear the air, this is just a game, it's fictional. Still, fiction matters more than people think. It's all about whether you're into the vortex or comfortably watching from the outside. When you're inside the vortex, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, good and bad things. It's just a game, but if you did not care at all, you wouldn't play. Simple as that. So why did I start? As a kid I was terrible at this game, so in 2013 I felt like I needed to compensate that. Some kind of redemption if you want. I wanted to learn how this game was supposed to be played. So right now I'm going to rank these moments in 5 groups. The best one is touching the sky, which is like moment of glory or joy, nothing better than that. Second group, fond memories. This is actually the sweetest stuff, something that transcends winning or losing. These are moments that will never happen again, like you can do something for the first time just once, so nothing can compare. Then we have the ouch group, which is something somewhat neutral. There are times where things don't go your way, but it's bittersweet, especially in hindsight. Some call it growing experiences. I like to call things bluntly, so I'll just go ahead and say those things were inevitable and they eventually resulted in good trades, like setting up for something bigger. Then we have the anger group, times where you get mad and you know you're going to regret your outburst. But there are times where you just cannot keep your stuff together. Finally, we have the low points, sadness and frustration. These are times where you get hit and you go down, period. There's no anger, no reaction. So, just like I said, in 2013 I started on RBY 2k10, mentored by Isa, then joined PP as well in July 2013. Best players were Isa himself, GGFan, Christos, Latra. Out of all the moments I'm mentioning in this video, this is the only one I really wish I could live again. Just playing against these guys at that specific moment in time once more with the Paraslam metagame. At this time Body Slam was capable of paralyzing normal types 30% of the time. So I don't even know where you need to go to play this game again. Playing against the Golden Gyarados, the Rage, the Joker, Bomber and so many players I'm failing to mention, forgive me for that. So definitely a fond memory. After that we have another special moment, winning my first Master Tournament, April the 22nd, 2014, Master Tournament 7. Actually finals were versus nothing less than Dragon. That was followed by Master Tournament 8, obviously. The finals took place on May the 8th, 2014 versus Hagrid. I had to beat Latra in the semi-finals, so this felt great, but that was just the beginning. In order to cement myself, I had to clash with Latra, Christos and GGFan a lot more. I think Christos stopped playing, at least on Pokemon Perfect at that time. So yeah, this is definitely touching the sky, winning your first Master Tournament. Things just clicked. Like for some months I was very bad. And at some point I started copying movesets, copying teams from better players. I practiced and everything clicked. Then we have the first encounter with GGFan on June the 11th, 2014. I was a multiple Master Tournament champion at the time, and I went on to lose to GGFan in Master Tournament 9. And at that time I felt like he was arguably the best player around and the only one I had to beat to claim the top of the mountain, which I eventually did in Master Tournament 11 and 12, so after that I became unstoppable and the rest is history. However, I lost in our first encounter, 3 games to 0. GGFan was just a different and possibly bigger obstacle than the previous one, so I needed to get used to it. GGFan knew a bit of Italian, so I remember him telling me I had been the Flash and he had been the Sword. He said that in some imperfect Italian that still made perfect sense, and that was funny at the time, and it's even funnier today. So this is clearly a fond memory, a funny one. Next memory, I played in my first SPL, SPL 6, January 2015. I finished with a 6-4 score. I got the chance to play with legendary player Tsang. Our manager was Finchinator, so another legend. I loved playing with these guys. Unfortunately, this was right after Body Slam tragedy happened. The auction took place before that happened, and I was not the same player anymore. I struggled to adapt. Things did not go super well, and this did not entirely depend on me, and this made me a bit angry. I would say that this was somewhere between ouch and anger, but well, let's settle for an ouch, especially in hindsight. Then we have RBY Yellow Cup number 2, a very large tournament. On May the 31st, 2016, I lost to Seal in the finals. I don't remember much other than using a double reflect team, so both Chansey and Snorlax. Eventually, I lost in 2 games and I don't want to watch it again, honestly, so maybe this is a little bit more than just an ouch, but I'm going to classify this as an ouch as well. This was not a moment of frustration, it was just something that I took positively because this was the finals of a very large tournament, so many players. It just didn't go well, but I gave myself the opportunity, so whatever. I'm not even talking in hindsight, just at that time I realized that I had won so many series to get to the finals, so I realized that that was just an accident. After this, we have another shortcoming, on Smogon again. It's funny because these things always double up. World Cup of Pokemon 11, playing for Team Italy, we lost in the semifinals in the tiebreakers, and in spite of being supposed to be the leader of that team, I was the one who actually lost in the tiebreakers of the semifinals after winning during the week against Bad Shibear. Sorry for my pronounce. Players from back then, we all know this guy, Bads, playing for Team Germany. He was actually from Austria. Solid player, SPL player for both Red Blue Yellow and Gold Silver Crystal. I remember something going wrong with my Slowbro. I tried very hard to win this series, but it just didn't happen. Next, we won another game. Then the final one was Gold Silver Crystal, and we lost it. So semifinals, we got eliminated, and this was not in the script. I was supposed to be the one who carries the teammates. This time, I was the one who needed to be carried, and we missed the finals. So this is definitely a sadness and frustration moment. Next we have SPL 9 2018. To this day, SPL 9 is remembered as one of the best pools, if not the best ever. SPL 15 might be the best. The game is more developed right now and players are better on average. But given the tools we had at the time, that was a great tournament because all of the great players joined. This is not the case anymore, at least not every year. So I finished with a 5-4 record, which was actually the third best record after Rudolph and Alexander. I felt like I deserved a little bit more, like Rudolph, Alexander and myself finishing with 6-3 each, something among these lines, but Rudolph was very good at the time. Alexander, I can't remember whether things didn't go my way, so whether this is true or not, I was very upset with the outcome. This was an Italian's rare moment of anger. Moving on, we have World Cup of Pokemon 2018 on Smogon. We got to the semi-finals again, and I'm playing against Teal, Red, White and Teal. So we start the week, I go first, I want to set the tone, so I win against Teal. What happens next? We lose 6-1. So my win was actually the only victory we got. And this felt extremely bad. This is something I'm going to say right now, and it's going to be true for the next occasion as well. When you're playing with your national team, you need to have some players who are, one player is the captain, so they are busy with getting everything ready. They are communicating with tournament hosts, with opponents. They are representing you, they are the captain. But someone who might or might be not the captain has to be the guidance. And to have someone like me who had been around with a lot of experience, with a lot of drive, I thought that having someone like me who is unconditionally going to support you, who is always going to be by your side, I thought that would be enough for you to feel invincible. And at that point I realized that I didn't have this kind of aura. This could have been a moment for redeeming ourselves from the previous year, and especially myself, because I actually lost in the tiebreakers. So I wanted to take some redemption, and this was definitely a sadness and frustration moment. Next, we have a timeless memory, playing Rudolph and Chuva on the ladder. This happened at different times, obviously. And I'm going to mention Kaz, Lash, Septros, and there are many more great ladderers around. Laddering is a humbling experience, it's a great place to learn, improve and so on. So these two guys are going to put you on a bad streak, especially for their style. They're both very good at making predictions, so aggressive play style. The ultimate RBY overused experience would be to watch these two guys battle on the ladder over and over again. So it was only right to talk about the ladder and these all-time greats. I'm going to rank these as an ouch, because the ladder and ladder demons are the most ouch thing in RBY overused. You're going to lose a lot, so no doubt here. Next we have Invitational number 1, which took place under the name of The Last Dance. This was supposed to be a single tournament, one and done. It turned out to happen every year. At the time I was a retired player already, but we all came back to play that tournament. What happened next? When I was about to win the series against Kaz in the first round, my Tauros got frozen at the end of game 2. Next, Kaz won game 3, so I lost the series to Kaz in the first round, and then I dropped out of the tournament. That was unusual, and it was dictated by the ire of the moment. Like, I can admit that sometimes I took this game too seriously, and that time I got caught too much. I can never thank enough Kaz for being cool to me, a great player and great guy, and Emma as well, the tournament host. So this episode can lay in the past with their blessing. Quite regrettable. I think that nowadays I'm often getting more than I deserve, and at the time I was getting maybe a little bit less than I deserved. So this fact, combined with university and work, led to my retirement. A lot of players retire, then come back, but at that time it looked like this was not going to be the case with me. However, I got back in the game for invitational tournaments and World Cups. Next, we have a memory that is not about me playing a tournament. On January the 16th, 2023, Greece won World Cup of Pokemon Perfect 2022. So again, this is not me, this is Christos. This is a friend and a tutti of mine. I had mentored Christos for a few years. He was a player of mine. I tried to be a manager on a tournament. I don't remember which tournament that was, but that was a rare instance where I tried to be a manager, and Christos was one of my two Red Blue Yellow players. We bonded, and yeah, Christos won this tournament as the team captain of Team Greece after beating Ebola in the tiebreaker, and also after losing to him during the week. So playing this game, you make a lot of friends along the way. Some are going to ask how Controller is not even mentioned in this video. I'm doing it right now. Well, matter of fact is we didn't talk a lot. I mentored him, we had fun, we grew older. He became the greatest SPL Red Blue Yellow player of all time. Like, numbers don't lie. He came, I left, I came back, he left. So I don't know how much it is due to a clash of egos. I don't think so. I don't feel that way. Sometimes it's just the circumstances, I guess. He's the best in SPL, I'm the best with national teams. We won at different times, so my only regret is that we never won together. With Christos, not only I tutored him, we bonded a lot more, and to see him succeed at something I never could, winning with the national team, made me incredibly happy. This game is not only about clicking buttons, and in all honesty, Christos is a good player, not one of the all-time greats, but he elevated himself, so I was very glad. So, touching the sky. Then we have Invitational number 3. I had a third place finish. I lost to Katis, who eventually was the winner. Then I made it quite far in this tournament, playing in the losers bracket. I beat friend of Mr. Golem, who was a major obstacle, and I think this is the player who still holds the record for the best all-time score in invitational tournaments. And when you get deep in a tournament, you want to win it all, but hey, I was in the losers bracket, so you're not going to win from there. At last, I lost to Kaz, who was the finalist, obviously, and this was bittersweet, more sweet than bitter, but it fits the ouch rank very well. This was a setup for something bigger. We are getting closer to this very day, to the present. 13th memory on May the 7th, 2023. We lost the finals of Red Blue Yellow Overused World Cup number 1. So playing with Team Italy again, this was a time when I questioned my aura. Just like I said before, the impact I had on my teammates. We went against Team Germany, and the final game we were down 3-2. I had won my game, my series against Lush. Problem is, our player didn't even show up to the final game to force the tiebreakers, and we had to sub him out. Opponent was friend of Mr. Golem again, so this didn't sit well with me. I thought my presence and my support could give you something more, like I thought that could make you feel invincible, and losing is okay. I can accept losing to a friend of Mr. Golem, there's no shame, but losing this way was very disappointing. I want you to show up, I want you to try your best, and I don't think this is going to ever happen with Team Germany. They never do that, it never happens to them. I don't know why our players didn't show up, but Team Germany, their champions, were not. So this is clearly sadness and frustration. Next, we have a very bright moment. On September the 8th, 2024, I became Red Bull Yellow Overused Invitational V champion. The first series against Nicole took place on September the 6th, 2024. I lost that series. And well, this is the only victory that feels as good as winning my first Master Tournament, because this is like a new start. And almost nobody thought I could win this tournament, and eventually I did win. I don't know whether it was 100% deserved. I have not even watched these games again. I think I will in the future, but it really is about the meaning, coming off a rough time. And at the time, September, I went to a public competition. I overperformed. I did very well, but basically I didn't get anything in exchange for that. That's how Italy works most of the time, and these days I was going through a very dark moment. I was very upset. No matter how much I want to win with Team Italy, if you think I'm some kind of patriot or whatever thing, that's not the case. To this very day, I haven't gotten my reward for my efforts, and I'm still angry. In between these two series, I played for another tournament against Felix. I think we went to game 3 and I failed to enter the end game when I should have, and I eventually lost. So September the 6th, the 7th and the 8th, I had a chance to lose 3 Red Blue Yellow series in 3 straight days. So the final series, I entered it in a very dark place. Real life, bad streak in game. That's not a good mix. However, this time Christos was the one cheering for the other friend, so I won this series and I could celebrate. I loaded the slush maker, so I poured a lot of coconut sorbet right into a cup I have here in my home and drank it straight from the cup, so definitely touching the sky. And finally, we have the present. Invitational number 6, I got eliminated in round 3, just not my time. I entered the tournament as the reigning champion and I got knocked out in round 3 by Soulwind after losing to Nicole the previous round. It happens, not my year. Let's move on, just an ouch. And when I think about my journey, I'm more than happy with what I was able to accomplish. Winning Invitational 5 eternalized this feeling. So when I fail at something in this game, that means that for whatever reason, on that day I was just unable to avoid it. So I have to live with that. I have so many yesterdays and it's easy for me to realize more tournaments are going to take place, new players are going to join, it won't stop. I started this game to find some answers and I did. Now I know Starmie and Tauros are good, which I didn't know before. However, questions never come to an end. So this concludes the story, at least for now. Comments are welcome. If you made it this far, thank you for hearing the whole thing.